Imagine a world where the sky is alive, crackling with endless storms, and the very air hums with electricity. This is not a tale of flesh and blood, but of beings woven from lightning and thunder, thriving in a tempest that never ends. But what happens when the storm begins to fade, when the lightning dims and the thunder quiets? Join us as we dive into a world on the brink of an unimaginable silence. On the distant planet of Electria, silence was a myth, a legend whispered in the rare lulls of the eternal storm. The sky was a canvas of chaos, painted with streaks of lightning and the swirling dance of storm clouds. The air was thick with electricity, a living, breathing entity that pulsed through every inch of the planet. Here, life was not made of flesh and bone, but of sparks and currents, beings of pure energy that thrived in the heart of the tempest. These creatures, the Electria, were as diverse as the storm itself. Some were crackling orbs of light, darting through the sky with the speed of a lightning bolt. Others were vast, shimmering networks of energy, their forms shifting with the wind, from hissing clusters of sparks to radiant spheres that illuminated the darkest corners of the storm. They communicated not through words, but through flashes of light and resonant pulses that echoed through the air, a complex language of electricity that conveyed thoughts and emotions in an instant. The Electria lived in harmony with the storm, drawing their power from its endless energy. They built their civilization on the currents and fields that pulsed through the planet, their memories stored in the rhythm of the lightning. Their society was ancient, as old as the storm itself, and they had never known a world without its constant, comforting roar. But the storm was not eternal. It was a force of nature, subject to the laws of the universe, and it was beginning to fade. The first sign was subtle, a slight dimming of the lightning, a softening of the thunder's roar. But the Electria were creatures of the storm, attuned to its every shift and change, and they felt it immediately. A sense of unease rippled through their ranks, a question that had never been asked in all their cycles of existence. What would happen when the last lightning faded? The ancient ones, the beings of pure energy who had existed since the dawn of the storm, were the first to feel the change. They were the keepers of the storm's memory, the guardians of its power, and they knew that their time was running out. One by one they began to fade, their energy dissipating into the air as the storm's power waned. The Electria watched in horror as their ancient ones dimmed, their light flickering like a dying candle. It was a death they had never known, a loss they could not comprehend. The storm was their god, their creator, and their sustainer. Its fading was a cataclysm that threatened to erase their very existence. In the heart of the storm, a young Electria named Volt emerged. He was different from the others, his energy pulsing with a unique rhythm, a rhythm that seemed to resonate with the storm itself. Volt had always been drawn to the Ancient Ones, their wisdom and power a beacon in the chaos of the storm. He had spent cycles learning from them, absorbing their knowledge and their memories. And as the Ancient Ones began to fade, Volt felt a pull, a call to action that he could not ignore. He gathered a group of like-minded Electria, beings who shared his unease and his determination to save their world. Together, they embarked on a journey to the heart of the storm, a place where the lightning was born and the thunder echoed with the voice of the storm itself. The journey was perilous, the storm's power unpredictable and dangerous, but Volt and his companions were driven by a purpose, a desperate need to understand the storm's fading and to find a way to save their world. As they ventured deeper into the storm, they encountered beings and phenomena they had never seen before. They witnessed the birth of new Electri, their energy surging from the heart of the storm, a sight that filled them with hope and determination. They faced challenges and obstacles, their resolve tested by the storm's relentless power. But they pressed on, their bond growing stronger with each passing cycle, their shared purpose a beacon in the chaos. Finally, they reached the heart of the storm, a place of raw, untamed power. The air was thick with electricity, the lightning a blinding, constant force that pulsed with the storm's rhythm. And in the center of it all, they found the source, a being of pure energy, a manifestation of the storm itself. It was ancient, its power vast and overwhelming, and it was fading. The storm's voice echoed through the air, a resonant pulse that conveyed its sorrow and its weariness. It had existed for cycles beyond counting, its power sustaining the Electri and their world. But even the storm was not eternal, and its time was running out. Volt stepped forward, his energy pulsing with determination. He communicated with the storm. His flashes of light and resonant pulses conveyed his thoughts and his emotions. He asked the storm for its wisdom, its knowledge, and its power. And the storm answered, its voice a resonant pulse that echoed through the air, a language of electricity that conveyed its thoughts and its memories. It told Volt of the cycles of existence, of the birth and death of worlds, and of the power that sustained them. It spoke of the Electri, their birth from the storm's energy, and their destiny, a destiny that was intertwined with the storm's fate. The storm's power was fading, its energy dissipating into the air. But it was not the end, the storm told Volt. It was a transformation, a change that would bring a new cycle of existence. The Electri were not bound to the storm, their destiny not tied to its fate. They were beings of energy, their existence a testament to the storm's power. And as the storm faded, they would change, their energy transforming into a new form, a new existence. The storm's voice echoed through the air, a resonant pulse that conveyed its hope and its faith in the Electri. It told Volt of the power that lay within them, a power that could sustain their world, a power that could bring a new cycle of existence. Volt and his companions returned to their world, their energy pulsing with the storm's wisdom and their determination renewed. They shared the storm's message with the Electri. Their flashes of light and resonant pulses conveyed the storm's thoughts and its memories. The Electri listened, their energy pulsing with a mix of sorrow and hope, their fate no longer a mystery, but a destiny that they could shape. And as the storm faded, the Electri began to change, their energy transforming into a new form, a new existence. They built a new civilization, their society evolving with their changing forms, their memories stored in the rhythm of their new existence. And as the last lightning faded, the Electri stood on the brink of a new cycle, their world transformed, their destiny shaped by the storm's power and their own determination. In the end, the storm's fading was not an end, but a beginning, a transformation that brought a new cycle of existence. The Electri, beings of pure energy, had evolved, their world shaped by the storm's power and their own resilience. And as they stood on the brink of their new existence, they looked to the sky, their energy pulsing with the memory of the storm, their destiny a testament to the power of change and the resilience of life.
Signal from X42 lost. Archive preserved. Subscribe will activate the next transmission. A like confirms the life cycle. Your comment is the code for the next decryption.